In the Peace and Friendship Stadium, the clean and jerk competition just underway. A couple of lifts already achieved. Mukhan Goshia of Georgia, man who got the 4th place in the snatch competition, has clean and jerked 215 kilos. He's got the lead at the moment of 402.5, ahead of Anatoly Krapati of Kazakhstan, who clean and jerked 200, but is way down the field as a result of finishing 11th in the snatch. This is Choi. We've got a silver in the snatch, and that's 220. That's good. And 220 with 190 is 410 and takes him to the top of the board.
Yes, good solid start there. Cleans well, catches the bounce. And then just a short dip. Of course, these bigger weights, a lot of these lifters are using the spring on the bar. If you notice, they dip, and just as the bar springs back up, that's when they choose to throw the weight overhead.
And this is Assad of Qatar. By the way, Saeed from London, thanks very much for your email. We're glad that you enjoyed the 85-kilo competition. Your fellow countryman Shahirani are taking that, which was for us a surprise triumph. Incidentally, we'll be looking at one or two of the best things of the week shortly when we go live for the super heavyweight competition. And during the interval, we'll be showing Shahirani's success. So you might want to stay with us if you're watching on Eurosport now, hopefully. And that's another good lift from one of the 8 men who went to Qatar.
Yes, I thought we would have been able to do that a bit easier, because about a week ago in the gym, I saw him lift 230 kilos with much easier than he did that.
Had a bit of lunch then, you see.
Really having to work out of this bottom position.
No, he tucked in, hasn't he? And, he's been on starvation since to get to the body weight of less than 105. Grzegorz Klecz of Poland now. Plenty of time for first of the 2 poles to lift in the clean and jerk. Seventh place at the interval on 185. He was a clutch of lifters on that weight, but because of his heavier body weight, that's the reason why he found himself down in 7th place. Well, even younger now. This is Marcin Dolega, just 17. This is really experience that this man's gaining. 177.5 kilos in the first part. So Krapati will be the next man on stage. It seems the Olympic Games of 1988 in Seoul, David, you're old enough to have a few memories of those, aren't you?
I was there.
Well, this man was at the height of his powers then. Won a gold, got a silver in 96, so was still lifting to great effect then. Pretty amazing, though, to win five World Championships.
Yeah, one wonders what his motivation is now.
The man from Georgia.
Yes, Krapati done everything. What keeps him going?
Foreign travel?
Maybe.
Bananas. They used to say that in the Soviet Union when we were ski racing, and a lot of people came from Eastern Europe and particularly the Russians, and they saw bananas, and we said, well, it was a joke, of course, but it was, no, we don't have those. 15 seconds, so you're going to have to wait a bit, I'm afraid, till he picks the bar up. Going well, though.
Yes, hasn't made a mistake yet.
So this for a total of 407.5. Wouldn't overtake Choi of Korea, who still has the advantage. Had to work for that. But the second phase is always very good. He's very strong overhead. No hesitation.
Yes, that puts him on 407.5.
And it's 5 lifts out of 5, so that's very good. And you never know. If he puts 6 lifts in, others fail. Having said that, Gottfried has yet to start, and so has Shishyanikov. Grzegorz Klesz of Poland. Under a little bit of pressure because he failed this weight the first time. If you were with us on Eurosport last night and you saw Christoph Simeon go for an amazing attempt to try and beat Kakashvilis, a 10-kilo increase, but it didn't come off. But the Poles have got a really good group of lifters.
So gets it right the second time round.
Mind you, they've lost to a couple, David, Kozlowski and Kozlinski, who used to lift with great effect for them, both disqualified for taking illegal substances. Now, Krapati. World champion here 10 years ago. Greece, who've held or staged the World Championships 3 times now, in 79, 89, and this year. And what a night last night. There are some very, very red eyes around the from the organisers, most of whom have not been to bed for all the partying, and that's a good lift and a good recovery there by Krapati, who gets the 220 and goes up to exactly 400 kilos.
Not bad at 36.
The very businesslike Yevgeny Shishyanikov, 24 years of age, coached by Pavel Dinov, and he's certainly capable of a lot more than this. He's #1 in the world, and clean and jerk this season 235 for a total of 430, which is 10 kilos below the world standard. In catch-up vogue at the moment. He was 5 kilos behind Gottfried at the halfway stage, so he really needs to pile them on here in the clean and jerk. It could be a big spoiler, though, in this party, David, because Razarenov, the defending champion who failed all 3 snatches, all he's got to go for now is the clean and jerk, but he could be quite effective in that.
So the 4th red going to be loaded onto the bar, taking it to 225 kilos. The red discs, of course, weigh 25 kilos. Bar weighs 20. Collars weigh 2.5 each.
The stadium and the clean and jerk competition, and here's the man who's already got a gold medal in his pocket. This is Denis Gottfried from the Ukraine, and now the stakes about to be raised, because Dennis about to pick up 225 kilos for the outright lead in the clean, and he makes it look so easy. And with that, he just zooms ahead of Shishyanikov of Russia, who opened up a few moments ago in the clean and jerk on 222.5. He's got a total, that's Shishyanikov, of 412.5, but Gottfried has now gone 7.5 kilos clear with a total of 420. He's going places.
Yes, good start there. Sensible start.
European champion this year. He'd previously won it in 1997, finished third to his teammate Razarenov last year in Finland, but it looks as if the tables are really going to be turned. So Choi now, currently down in third place overall on 410. His opening clean and jerk weight was 220, so this would take him up to 415, so he'd get ahead of Shishyanikov. He's got one more go at it. And nobody in the B ranking group anywhere near these sort of totals. The best was Tabakoli of Iran, who achieved a creditable 407.5 kilos. While we're looking a little bit down the order, let me quickly tell you, as you watch Dolega of Poland prepare, Tommy Yule, who lifted earlier on today for Great Britain. I'll give you his scores in a moment. $225.
Well, if he really is 17, David, this is some lifting. That's just a fraction under 500 pounds. Cleans well. Drives up reasonably comfortable, considering that we're just under 500 pounds, and drives the bar overhead. Now, you might say that his left arm there isn't completely locked out, but that's obviously a genetic thing, and the referees have obviously picked it up that's a lockout for him. Well, this is
Mukran Gojia. Now, he takes an awful long time, so it gives me a chance now to give you Tommy Yule's performance today. Weighed in at 104.82 kilos, 165 in the snatch, 200 in the clean and jerk, 365 total.
Yeah, that's actually a personal best for him. Yes, and David Guest also lifting, but didn't manage to make a total.
Disappointing. David Daly of Ireland didn't manage to achieve a good snatch, but he did get 155 in the clean and jerk.
So this for 6 good lifts.
Well, time will tell whether that will have cost him a medal. Fourth place, the worst place to finish in any championship, missing the snatch bronze by 2.5 kilos, and it could well be that the man from Georgia is going to miss out completely. In fact, I can confirm that now. He will miss out, which is a bit disappointing. Grzegorz Klech, 225. This would take him to 410, but he can't either. So it just goes to underline what I just said about Gojia, David. If he'd got that extra 5 kilos, which would have taken him up to 412.5, you just don't know. Maybe Choi would have failed his next one, and he would have squeaked in with a medal. Well, here's Choi, last attempt. I'm still waiting for 2 further lifts. I should underline Saeed Assad, representing Qatar. Razarenov, who's not started for the Ukraine. Shishyanekov's got 2, and Godfrey's got 2 more lifts, so we're not...
No, he failed to stand up with it on his second attempt. When you get to that point, I mean, he's pulling the bar, he's putting it in exactly the right place. He's given himself the best opportunity to stand up with that big weight. But it's just a question of not having enough leg strength.
So, Saif Fasad for Qatar, 20-year-old Bulgarian. And it was suggested to us that the Bulgarians had sold their second string, but I have to say that they've only really had that nationality confirmed for, what, a couple of weeks. But they've all performed pretty well. I mean, it'd be harsh to say that they're second string.
As I said, his 220 wasn't convincing. I saw him doing 230 in the training room very easily earlier on in the week. But as you say, perhaps he was well overweight in the training room.
Well, 222.5 was where he's been generally so far, and he was going for something 5 kilos heavier, so who knows, but he's got one more attempt.
Of course, 227.5 is just in excess of 500 pounds. It's got a big psychological barrier for some athletes.
Now, Shishyanikov, 227.5. I've seen this man follow a similar path before, and then he puts in a very extravagant third attempt. He might sit and wait and see what the others do. But that's good. Very good indeed. And it adds 5 kilos to his total, takes him up to 417.5. So he's now within 2.5 kilos of Godfrey, but he's got 1 life left. Godfrey's got 2.
Yes, and with Razarainov bombing earlier on in the competition, it actually makes life much easier for this man, because he can now sit back knowing that he's pretty certain of a silver medal and just see what he needs on his third attempt.
Well, I would have expected to have seen Razarainov before now, so it does suggest that he's not going to come out. He's obviously not in the right mental or physical condition, and I'm afraid that's the end of the road today for Assad of Qatar, who ends on 400 kilos. And so Gottfried. There's also Dolega of Poland, who's got 1 lift left. But I think this is a very sensible approach here by Dennis Godfrey, because what he's doing now, going to 230, is to widen the margin again. If he gets this, he'll be back to a 7.5 kilo advantage.
Yes, and of course still with 1 lift remaining.
So he really is going for the championship first and not worrying about records or standards until he's got the thing won. He's a very aggressive lifter, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still lifting within himself, playing a good tactical battle.
Coached by Mikhail Matseka. And 10 years in the sport, but he's really come to the fore this season. He's looking in great condition, and he's lifting well. And he should be on your short list for Olympic Games medals. Now, Dolega, 230.
It's shame he only snatched 177.5.
Shame he didn't pick that up either, but he's a young man with a future. Whether he can improve enough in the 10 months to the Olympics, not sure.
So now, just 2 men left in this competition, David.
It's worth saying that Tavakoli of Iran, who totaled out on 407.5, were he in this A group competition, he would, by virtue of his body at the moment, in 5th place, 6th place actually, but that would be very creditable.
Now it's going to be a real who's going to come out first situation now, David, because Shishikanikov has done 227.5. He's snatched 190 earlier on. He's guaranteed all the silver medals, so he's got nothing to lose. So it's going to be a question of which person decides to come out first. The bar's already gone to 235 kilos. Which is a weight that Shishikanikov in picture now has lifted this season in the national championships. He's already got quite a lot of medals in his career, 28, 15 of them in gold. Dennis Gottfried, well, he's got 17 medals, 19 of those are of the gold variety. It's not quite sure the significance of this lift, because it doesn't actually put him in the lead. He's heavier than Gottfried.
Is he just accepting that this is as far as he can go, that the gap is too big to close? Well, that's very good. It's a 7.5 kilo increase. It takes him to 425. But as you say, David, he's weighed in 104 point. Well.
Ah, well, the body weight was wrong. So that does actually take him into the lead. So he weighed in at 104.8, whereas Gottfried weighed in at 104.94. So that now means that Gottfried has to take at least 135 to regain the lead and capture the gold medal.
Well, he's got to take, in fact, 235. He needs these 5 kilos, basically. Well, he doesn't really. He only needs 2.5 of them, but...
Yeah, it was very clever what the Russian did. He jumped it up to 235, and of course the bar cannot come down.
So this for the championship. It's very heavy, struggling. Can he get it up there? He's a gutsy man, and he's done it. The European champion is now the world champion in 1999. Dennis Gottfried of the Ukraine gives his country the first overall championship here. And the question was asked by Shishikanikov, and Gottfried had the answer.
Yes, he nearly lost it there in the clean, but really fought in that bottom position. If you just watch now, almost loses it, comes up onto his toes, but has the leg power to stand, and then follows it through with a good jerk, and he becomes world champion for the first time.
Yeah, really good, and it really does emphasize the form that he was in Europe, in Spain last May, and he's on that. And Razoreinov, the defending champion, a complete disappointment today, but Ukraine's hopes are saved by this man. And the world standards all remain, and they went for the championship medals today, not really for the records, although he did have a go at trying to gather in the snatch world record, but I don't think Dennis Gottfried will be too unhappy about that. Well, stay with us here on Eurosport, because we've got the super heavyweights coming up live from the Peace and Friendship Stadium here in Athens, the finale of the whole World Championships. So a competition really that didn't catch fire, I would say, David. It was good lifting, but really Gottfried, at the end of the day, that much better than everybody. Just pushed right there at the end by Shishikanikov.
Yes, the same that Shishikanikov didn't have another attempt, or, you know, both of them didn't have another attempt, because I feared he could have gone slightly further.
But that